Welcome to my channel again. I have another exciting episode for you. I'm gonna be talking about emotional side. Very interesting topic, very misunderstood. So let's dive into it. First, as I often do, let me share some of my recent comments from the channel. Hey, Bambi, why don't you ask your viewers to subscribe? Mrs. Four Legs. Oh, hello. I might just do that, I've been thinking about it, somehow it skips my mind. But, Mrs. Four Legs, if you leave your phone number in the comments, I might just call you too. Just saying, you know what I mean? Okay. As I have mentioned before, I will be using my cheat sheets because my mind is easily distracted. Well, I'm gonna be making another episode about a topic, but I will say something to all the men out there. Be a dangerous man. Dangerous meaning a man who is not easily manipulated by the society, cannot be profited from. And I will make the episode soon about what it means to be a dangerous man. So, there is so much confusion in the world. There is so much hate, misunderstanding. There is so much lack of empathy. There's humility is going lower and lower. We are looking at each other and just pointing our worst. Very few people acknowledge wrongdoing. They don't want to reflect. Why have we been going this way? What's going on in this society? What propels all that negative approach and the rush towards lost direction? Well, I think there is a responsibility falls for our emotional state of mind, and that's something that is in crisis. I mean, it's been for a while, but now with the rise of social media, it's been tested in ways we have never experienced. So, what is emotional side? We've been told that, especially men, it's a show of weakness if you are too emotional, which is totally wrong. Let me just explain what emotional side is. We all have brains, and our brains are responsible for just about everything that happens with us. There is this physical part to us, and there is this intellectual, emotional side of us. This is how we see everything. This is how we understand everything. This is how we react to everything. This is how we process in our heads, distinguishing the fine line between right and wrong, good or bad, things that appeal to us, things that make us go ew, things that make us curious or just boring. So the part of our brain responsible for the feeling, our interpretation of everything that is happening, is our emotional side. It is different from intellectual side. So let's distinguish the difference right now. Our intellectual side is related, obviously, to who we are. We are born with certain intellect, but we polish most of it through study, going to schools and getting education, learning things, learning from life as well. So most of it, the intellectual part, will be obtained by our studies and life experience. The emotional side is a little bit different. It's kind of connected to intellectual side, but it is mostly how we are made as a human. This is our genes, the way our brain developed. So we are born with certain brain, and yes, we grow up, we start experiencing life, we interact in the world, observe, and start making our opinions. But the way our brain is wired naturally through our genes is how we will see most of the things. Yes, we can study, learn things which will mostly affect intellectual part of our brain. But the emotional side is kind of who we really are. Now, our upbringing, our life experience can have an effect on it. For example, if we have a very traumatic upbringing, it may have a larger effect on our emotional side because we will develop certain kind of limitations, breaks in certain situations, or approach. But generally speaking, the difference between intellectual and emotional side is that intellectual is more affected by studying and interacting with the world. Emotional side, it's actually who we are, and has the life, the experience has less effect on our emotional side. Now, we all are different, and there will be a huge spectrum how we process our reality, how we see things happen. So let's say someone is walking by and there's a situation. There's a mother, let's say, walking with a toddler, and the toddler is going through a tantrum, throwing it right there on the sidewalk, and walking by, depending how our brain processes, we can think certain way, this way, that way. We can be sympathetic, we can be critical, we can be confused, and that can be applied to everything that happens. Everything that we come in contact with, everyone that we come in contact, every life situation, every news, goes through our emotional side. Unless it's kind of a situation when it's a kind of muscle memory, where our brain is going to half sleep, and our physical part kicks in more because from repetitive actions that we have taken. So going back where we started, there's so much confusion, chaos. Why some people see certain situations happening in life so clearly, and they feel a certain way, and others clearly to them see this totally opposite way, and there's another group sees things in between. All of it's responsible. The responsibility of our processing of everything, how we feel, how we react, is through our emotional side. And it is important to do everything possible to feed our emotional side with healthy stimulation. I mentioned that emotional side it's something that we are born with, and it's generally less manipulated later on than the intellectual side. I believe so. But yet, if we choose unhealthy lifestyle, that can make the situation much worse versus make a slight positive improvement. So let's go more deeper. I know it's something that most people don't ever want to mention, don't ever want to get into. But this is the key, the cornerstone of everything. This is who we are. And now, in this divided world, the emotional side has been used on society in ways that most of us are not aware of. But let's go back a little bit. Let's pick a person. If that person had a healthier emotional side versus unhealthy. When your emotional side works healthier, giving you more accurate interpretation of the world, of everything, generally that person, or most likely this person, will make better choices, distinguishing between right and wrong. More often, that person will be correct. There's no perfection. We can all make mistakes, and it's part of who we are. But having a healthier emotional side will enable us to distinguish that difference between right and wrong more accurately. It will also make us more aware of certain healthy lifestyle, where we will make choices about everything that we do in our life to make that better choice that is better for our body and our mind. We will choose things that should have positive influence on our mind development and the way our body functions. And also a very important aspect, a healthier emotional side will generally make the person more aware, more self-aware of wrongdoing. This is a huge problem in society because most people do not want to acknowledge any wrongdoing, and they almost never self-reflect. They don't apply self-criticism, constructive self-criticism, and never open to constructive criticisms from others. And this is extremely important because as human beings, we make mistakes. We should learn, but it doesn't mean that we will not make mistakes. We all do. Some more, some less. But now, when our emotional side is healthier, we will take pause in our daily routines. We will self-reflect. We will look at ourselves and judge ourselves. And what it does is makes us think, okay, maybe we've done something wrong. Maybe we can pause and do something, some damage control, undo the things that we have done wrong. And this is absolutely positive, absolutely healthy. This is the best approach that we can do. Analyzing what we've done, noticing if it's wrong, and doing something about it. And also, another aspect of that healthy emotional state of mind is that By doing that self-reflection and being aware of our shortcomings, we will cause less harm to people that we get in contact with, our family, our friends, random people, because the general understanding in our mind is that we should do good. We should focus on doing good rather than harm. So, having that healthy emotional state of mind is making us better in every way possible, not only for ourselves but for everybody else. And then when you multiply it by millions, by billions, you have a better world where sometimes basic wrongs or general stupidity would decrease to minimum because it's plain there on a plate to people who obviously see that. Let's look at the flip side of unhealthy emotional side. We are born with the emotional side and emotional understanding, and depending how much healthy or unhealthy it is, how much limited it is, how much polluted it is from past genes, from past generations, we will start to, from going from little and to adulthood, we will interpret the world not exactly as it is. The limited, unhealthy emotional side will make us see things not exactly as they happen. We'll interpret it from a wrong point of view. We will start seeing incorrect borders between right and wrong. We will become easily manipulated and influenced by others, especially those who have a stronger character. We can be easy targets. And as human beings, we all have our weaknesses, our little, let's say, wrong, bad departments. It's part of our human nature to have certain desires, not necessarily all good. But if our emotional state of mind is polluted, undeveloped, unhealthy, those things will start coming out unchecked. And with time, we may become obsessed with certain things and start doing real harm to ourselves and people around us. Also, whatever is happening in the world, our lack of understanding of the difference between right or wrong can push us in a direction where we totally focus on the wrong, seeing that wrong as the right, because our perception is so shifted from where it is, from where it should be, that abnormal reality, that wrong reality, becomes where we live. And with time, if our lifestyle is very unhealthy, that we do the opposite of stimulating the healthy side, we do the opposite to even harm it, because we are generally too lazy. Our perception of what's normal gets so off the track that with time we start completely losing our reality, and then we become the easiest targets for this society to prey on. And that could be used in all the ways. In marketing, we could be easily manipulated to getting this, and that, especially someone making profits. making us believe that buying stuff and buying all that nonsense stuff is necessary for us. And with our emotional side being limited, doesn't tell us that, well, you don't really need it because it's not working well. So we provide that temporary sugar patching that, yeah, let's get this, let's feel better. And we get this, it doesn't feel better for long. It's just a split second, a few seconds, a day. And then we go back to square one, so we need to buy more. So that's one of the things. Yeah, we fall for that material world trap, that getting those things, all of the money, yeah, well, that's the solution. That's the better life. That's the healthy life. That's the ultimate. And another thing, especially present in this world, is the emotional play used in certain ways, like especially in political aspect. People who are vulnerable emotionally, they can be easily used to be manipulated to think and see things the way someone wants them to see. So when you have shortcomings, emotional shortcomings, blockages, lack of understanding of certain things, lack of empathy, humility, and you develop certain kind of wrong ideas about society, some kind of hatred, some kind of I can't deal with this myself, so it's better to push the blame on others. You become the target that is very simply guided into this corner where you become a firm believer that this is the best way to live, this is how the society should work, and you should reject everything else because someone else made a decision for you. Because generally, people with that limited emotional side are not able to make rational decisions. So it's better if someone else who they have no idea that taps into their emotional weakness, uses them as baiting them in and targeting them in certain ways, here, and there, because they want something from them. So this is what we have become, very easy targets by used by marketing and in politics. What do we do to not be distracted, to not be used that way, not to be used as blind tools, blind rats in their big lab, with whatever the objective is behind them. We have to, number one, start implementing healthy lifestyle, take breaks, work on physical and emotional improvement, focus on things that provide healthy signals for our body and our mind. I know I mentioned emotional side is not largely affected, but doing a little is better than doing nothing or the opposite. And also the most important thing, my whole channel is about this. Nothing ever happens. Nothing will make any change any place until we start self-reflection. This is the cornerstone of everything. A person that doesn't self-reflect, person with high ego, person obsessed with I'm right and stay away, as it is a person that is easily manipulated in this society, person that usually falls into traps of thinking that they are right, but they are usually wrong because they allow dark forces unintentionally penetrate them, and they have no idea how easily they are manipulated by others. A normal, healthy person should self reflect, should be aware of shortcomings, should be able to admit to wrongdoings, should be able to look himself in a mirror and do something about it. Admitting to wrongdoings is healthy. It takes guts, or speaking men's terms, it takes balls. So, man, if you fall into traps of this society, any rabbit holes, take your mind out of it. Take your body out of it. Do something healthy. The most important thing, get off the stupid phones. Get off the phones. Get off all the social rabbit holes that you start believing. Get out there. Exercise. Eat healthy. Minimize your screen time. Engage in conversations. Yes, physical conversation with others. Open your mind. Even if someone says something that sounds ridiculous at first to you, because you are so off the track, you don't know, so everything different is beyond ridiculous to you. Before you react and speak, just listen. Let that sink into you. Depending how much off the reality you are, it may take a long time. It may never work. But a person who is closed-minded in one-way thinking is not a healthy person. So the longer you've stayed in that state of mind, and usually body, not doing much for the body, the harder it is to come out of it. Yeah, being healthy emotionally, physically, takes work. It all takes work. It doesn't come free. But what if you one day discovered, by lightning accident, that you've been manipulated most of your life, you've been made to believe in total stupidity? How would it make you feel that you've wasted most of your life on something that is beyond ridiculous, something that a healthy person sees right there on the plate, and you were so fierce to fight it most of your life, or your whole life? In the name of what? I don't imply here any direction as far as politics, religion. All I'm saying is we need sane people, healthy emotionally people, because those people will raise a more normal, a healthier society where people do what they should be doing. For example, if they are parents, they do raise kids a healthy way. They know that giving the phone too early and allowing the kid to stay on the phone endlessly is a wrong thing. They engage with activities with the kids. They take them outside. They travel with the kids. They talk. They have physical conversations. They talk about other things, not just making money and the way to a career. They open up the interest in their minds about things that are happening in the world. Beautiful things that we walk by every single day, we don't notice because we're so focused on that money-driven train. So, healthy state of mind is critical for ourselves, for our family, our kids, everybody, for society, for humanity. Uh, so, closing this episode, I, I, I will close with things that I will be repeating throughout this channel. That's for everyone, but especially men. This is so important for all of us. But like I said, especially men, because we're supposed to be the captains of the ships, right? Our family ships. Not allow the society to push us around or take the second seat because our spouses overpower us with crazy ideas or something. Take care of your emotional, mental, and physical health. Prioritize healthy things for your body and your mind over stupid things. Don't become a lazy person. Get off the phone. Pay attention to others. Listen. Engage in conversations. Do interesting things. Get involved in learning things. Go outside. Talk to your kids. Don't give them phones too early. Delay as long as possible. Know what they are doing. Talk. Self-reflect. Admit to your mistakes. And man, grow your balls to do those things. And step in harder if you have to, because that's your role. You are a man if you step in. You're not a man because you have bigger tires or a collection of whatever. You're supposed to be strong mentally, emotionally, and physically, and give example by doing what you're saying. But make sure you understand the difference between right and wrong so you give good example. Thank you.